Be fun.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Freelancing with Sonny. My guest today is Dirty Kurt of the Real Mackenzie.
Hello.
Alumni of JP5 and newest member of LGA.
That's right. I got drafted yesterday.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Happy Canada Day.
Yeah. Apparently I got liquored and I woke up and I have this little guitar and apparently I'm in Little Guitar Army now, which I've wanted to do, but Cal made this guitar for my daughter, and I use that for a lot of writing, and I just love the harmonic sound out of it. It kind of sounds like a mandolin. Kind of sounds like a
Oh, yeah.
Well, it gives you that sonic
Soprano
punch.
guitar.
Yeah. And,
Piccolo soprano guitar.
so I wanted him to make me one because I don't want to use that.
Mhm.
You know, it's my daughter's. It's not my guitar. I can't bring it on the road or anything. And then he just gave me that and said, "Well, if you want one of these, you got to join my band."
Cool.
It's gonna be
It's
fun.
an honor to play with Mr.
Wow,
Dirty
there's
Kurt.
so many good players in the band. Like, who's even in the band right now?
I'll tell you.
Okay.
But Cal, myself, Frank, or whom we call Chopper, G-Tone, Rich, whom we call Uncle Milty, Marcus is in the group, Tony Bardock.
Oh yeah, I saw him on there. Marcus from Sinister Productions.
No, Marcus from Motorama. The whole band Motorama's in the group.
Yeah.
Bert's singing instead of drumming. Rich is in the band on bass, Marcus on guitar. It's two bass players, Rich and G-Tone. Two singers with Bert and, up to my knowledge, Mello. Drummer, now we have Jameson on the drums, or perhaps Craig. I don't know what's going on there, but we need a fill-in drummer in the event that someone
Oh,
can't.
you always gotta have a couple of drummers. A couple drummers, couple of bass players.
We try to have 6 guitars. You could be guitar number 7.
Yeah.
Does it? And your professionalism. You're a big tuning guy. Make sure everyone has
The
a
white
pedal,
box in
white
line.
box.
Yeah.
The pedal tuner by Boss.
Yeah.
It's white. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Blueprint. And I'm gonna get one.
Yeah, it's just mandatory. I tell you, the first time I ever played in front of 20,000 people is we're in Hamburg, and playing the stadium. St. Pauli got up in the first division, big deal there. And I'm nervous because, like, if they lose the game, I don't know how they're going to take us. You know, there might be bottles flying and all hell breaks loose. They just win the game. I'm stoked. Okay, I get out there in front of 20,000 people. Tuner's dead. I'm so used to it now. I was sweating. Oh my God. Ding, 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 ding. Ah! I almost
I
lost
can
my
tune
mind.
a guitar by putting the neck to my ear.
Yeah, I think that's how I
can
did.
do
That's
that.
how I did that that day. But that scared the hell out of me. You gotta have the white box. Yeah.
You're correct. Now, please tell me about the phenomenon of Dirty Kurt. How old were you when you first picked up the guitar?
I was. I went and saw a Cheap Trick live at Budokan tour. I think '79 when I was like 13 or something, and then I was just making noises with an acoustic guitar, scratching it and whatnot, and then I was just like, oh, I want to get one. So I went and bought my $100 Les Paul copy, plugged it into my parents' Heathkit stereo, which burned up, and I had to fix their stereo before I could get an amplifier. And I taught myself how to play. I just picked it up and I could play the guitar, like overnight, literally. And so well, I went to high school, and then because I took a year off, and then I was able to play, but not. I was doing open tuning. I hadn't learned the bar chord. And awesome Bob Fossum taught me how to tune my guitar, and showed me the bar chord, showed me the blues scale. Still the only bits that I use.
Pentatonic or blues?
Well, you know, I say I'm self-taught. I don't know what a pentatonic scale is.
Probably what you No, probably what you're using. I use both.
Yeah.
For years I used to be glued to the pentatonic scale, but then once I learned the blues scale, the extra flat
Diminished fifth.
Yeah.
7 in there, it just, wow, or flat 5th in there.
Yeah.
That's what makes it the blues.
See, I can play anything that you want, but I don't even
Yeah.
know what a flat fifth. When we're working with Fat Mike, who usually produces
Yeah.
our records, and he's like, "My God, how do you guys make such great music when you have no communication skills?" Like I can hear it, I can play it. I don't know what it is, you know. And it was funny when we first started doing records. He goes, "There's no minor chords in any of your songs." I go, "What's a fucking minor?" Happy sad, happy sad. It's like it's
Major is happy, minor is sad.
Yeah.
I'm a
exactly.
metalhead, so I know the minor scale all too well.
I know what a major and a minor is now, but yeah, Fat Mike had to do some training on us.
And I like playing a bit of classical
Yeah.
influence.
So anyways,
Who are the
yeah.
players that influenced you?
Oh, well, like I said, when I saw Rick Nielsen,
Yeah. Cheap Trick, that one gig.
that one gig, and I felt like a skinny little geek at the time. I was a geek. I'd grown 6 inches in 1 year and weighed all of like 100 pounds at 6 foot. And so I was, I saw him and I was just like, look at that. Oh my God. And that's why I actually played the Explorer. It was that much of an influence on me. I was just like, that's what I want to do. And it took me like it sort of sat in my belly for about a year. And then I was listening to a lot of April Wine and stuff at the time. But then when I really started playing, punk was the only thing that I could play. And so the Ramones and the Pistols, and actually the main band which I stole my whole sound and all my riffs off was Teenage Head,
Wow.
to tell you the truth.
I met Dave Rave a couple times. I'm friends with Karen, Lee Aaron, the metal queen.
Right.
And Dave Rave was in town and so on. And he knew I was friends with her, and he'd run out with a microphone and, "Young man, you sing with us." And I go, "Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
What's your name, Dave?" "Oh, hi." And then, "That's Dave Rave from Teenage Head." And I went,
Dave,
"Oh."
what did he play in Teenage Head?
I think he sang.
No, because that,
Oh, okay.
Eddie
no, that was
Venom.
Frankie Venom, who passed
Frankie
away
Venom,
last
okay.
year of cancer.
I just met
Gordy
Dave
Lazy
Rave.
Legs Lewis on guitar. Gordy Lazy Legs Lewis is sort of my guitar hero.
Okay.
And at the time when I'm learning, I wasn't able to, I was trying to do Chuck Berry or whatnot, and Alvin Lee was a big influence to me, but I've never been able to play I'm Going Home solo. It was one of those things that I just wanted to sit down, and one day I will be able to play that perfectly in entirety.
Excuse me. this
So yeah, AC/DC is a big influence on me too. That's one of my, all-time favorites. But yeah, it was the Cars and April Wine when I was young, just listening to that before I could play guitar. And so all 70s rock, basically. That's my influence.
No wonder Cal wants you in the group, because we are a 70s band
Yeah.
in the 21st century.
Yeah, well, I was listening to, I checked you guys out online last night, what did I sign up for? I enjoyed you playing, but I was just observing the song structure, and I was like, oh, cool, this is awesome. I like all the moves, and not too complicated, more attention to groove. Groove just makes it roll, groove is everything.
If I'm not headbanging and having fun,
That ain't no good.
here? Yeah, I got different influences like The Edge from U2 or Andy Summers.
Oh, do you have an Echoplex? Do you do some ghosty
No,
stuff?
I just love the chords he uses.
Right.
I could run out and I got all the effects with the digital delay and all that in my gear.
Yeah.
Away from LGA.
Yeah.
LGA is therapeutic for a metal.
Well, I unfortunately I just blew up that little crate, but that other little amp, I think that's a little too small. The crate, that one would have been perfect.
Oh, in LGA we got you now.
We're all.
Cal has how many? He has 8 30-watt trainers.
Perfect.
And they're 2.
I love getting a job where it comes with all the tools.
Yeah. And this band, hold on, first starting this band, you get a guitar, and Cal bolted 4 amps together. One guy on each side, grab them, put them on the stage. 4 amps together, grab them, put them on stage. 8 guitars, There you go.
Yeah,
Cal plays his own rig separate.
yeah.
He has to be louder than everyone else.
Well,
He's a
that's
conductor.
acceptable,
Yeah. Us, that's how it's gonna go. You might be beside me in one of these 30 watts, or you might be beside
I
Marcus
have,
and
I
Tony.
have trouble standing still. I'm a.
So do I. No, when I
yeah.
say beside me, I meant the amp is bolted
Yeah.
beside mine.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well,
Well, so you get your slot.
Yeah, that's where you're. No, but I'm wireless, so is Cal, so I go wherever
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah, I've got a couple wirelesses, but every time I use one, I break something,
Yeah.
like a rib or a leg. They're not conducive to, I need to be tethered.
Okay.
Like literally, I have two of them, and each time I've used them, I've broken a limb. So,
So I think it's brilliant. I didn't have to twist your limbs to find out who the influences were. Some people, it's such a challenge. And the actual gig that made you say,
Oh.
this is what I want to do was Cheap Trick,
well,
79.
I finally got an interview a few years ago in Guitar Player magazine about the English one, right? And he's just asking me dumb questions. I'm like, look, when I was a kid and I used to read Guitar Player magazine, that's how I learned to use the thickest strings possible from Dick Dale and all this stuff. And so I go, this is what I want to talk about. This is my 1972 JMP that I bought when I was 18 years old. I cram it through a 212 cab. Sound is like, I'm not a good player, but I sound as good as you could sound, you know.
So you mentioned,
Even the pickups and the wood I use, and I don't use anything in between, no pedals except for the tuner.
okay.
Because the more shit you plug in, the more you sap in your sound, right?
Yeah. So as we have the mandatory little guitar and 30-watt Marshall, I guess the white box is next mandatory item. For
Everybody
all
should
members.
have one, and you just constantly, because that was the only one time I've seen you guys play a couple times and you played immaculately, and then there was one time, and it might have been that time we were discussing earlier, but anyways, there's just so many guitars that it just gives you that little slip to be out a little bit, you know,
Yeah.
the more instruments you add. So it's really important that we all remain totally in tune, and I'm just like an asshole about that.
That's cool.
Well, it's been my job for the last 20 years.
It's a
to play
dirty job,
professionally.
someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
So you mentioned AC/DC as an influence. That's one of my influences, because I will always maintain the metal edge, whereas everybody else has come from the punk edge. I'm the one with the long hair, headbang, going off into La La Land. You know, and I have the classical influence. Everyone else is more of a blues thing, or Chopper more of a rockabilly thing. God knows
A
what.
lot of neat edges. Yeah.
Everybody's adding something.
Yeah.
And of the AC/DC guys, it sounds like you're almost influenced a bit by Malcolm Young.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's the. I like playing lead, but in the Mackenzies we have to line up all the pipe notes with the guitar notes, and so it's actually fairly it's Iron Maidenish playing.
Oh, I love
So that's why I hired the Bone.
Yeah.
And when I hired him about 8 years into the band, he's like, "Why do you want me to be the lead guitar player?" And I go, "Because I want to run around and have fun, rock out. You know, I don't want to have to I would have to sit on the edge of my bed like a 15-year-old doing this all day to be able to pull off what he does. You know, so noodle guy, do your noodle."
I can do all that and jump around, so I feel most.
Well, you're blessed.
No, because at 13 to 18, that's all I did.
Yeah,
Now I can afford to have fun.
yeah.
Malcolm Young used the JMP,
Yeah.
and Malcolm used the thickest strings. What gauge strings do you use?
I use a 10 to 52.
I use 10s.
Yeah.
And
I don't know what I'm going to be using on
Nines.
these guys. Nines?
why? Because of the scale?
Tension. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I tried 10s on them, I broke them every time.
Yeah.
9s, they work just structurally for the size.
Right.
And you're in C sharp, which is an octave higher than a Black Sabbath record, because it's
So we have a different tuning?
Oh yeah, well it's standard, but you're down to C sharp, and then take it from there relative to the C sharp.
So I just plug it in like A440 and
Not quite A440.
no?
No, your E would be a C sharp, and your F would be a step and a half lower than that, which, yeah,
I was worried about this. Okay, I can get my head around it, whatever.
C sharp, F sharp, oh my God, I hope I don't make a fool of myself. B, E, okay, got that, C sharp.
Well,
F sharp.
you know what, is you can chromatically change the tuners, so we'll use the buttons that I've never used, the mode selector.
Exactly.
Right, okay. So we'll have to do a little schooling, get the white box and
Not a problem.
we'll go to school. So, and it's set, I'll just have to remember to fucking change the button before I play.
Oh,
with
yeah.
Mackenzie.
Yeah, no, this will be fun.
Yeah.
And, what bands have you been in?
I moved to Vancouver.
From where?
From Quadra Island, and I went to Victoria. My first band in Quadra Island was Stagnant Waters. It turned into the Dead Tones, which we tried to call ourselves DTs, but then our buddy's mom, who let us practice in his house, wouldn't let us call it that. And then I came to Vancouver. I played in the generic Mice in Victoria for a year. And I played in the Fetal Pigs was my first band in Vancouver. Brutal hardcore, super fast when it wasn't hip anymore and couldn't get a gig. We got a couple, and then I went to the Young Adults, was the first sort of professional band with Sean Franks that I played with. And then my main band through the '80s, late '80s, was Curious George, and Curious George went off quite well. And then I got wrapped up in Too Many Bad Substances, and I was wired for sound. And I was at the Railway Club, and Chris Houston was there crying in his beer. I used to be, I used to be, I used to be. And I phoned up my bad friends and I said, I can't hang out with you anymore. And I joined 4 bands, so I had band practice every night. One was Stick Monkey, one was the Hellhounds. I'm missing one, but one was the Real Mackenzies, which started my whole career again. And I just like put down the bad substances, and rock and roll is a better high. And then I got 20 more years of professional rock and roll out of that. You know, we've been touring for 8 months out of the year, so I definitely have my experience for this band.
And who else have you, JP5?
JP5, I think that's all the bands that I've played with. So I'll go down for like a Friday afternoon jams or whatnot, but I'm not a good jammer. I'm too anal. I need to control it. Like, you know, it's just like, okay, the song's got to go somewhere. So I'll like go down to a drunken jam in somebody's basement, and then I'm bored within half an hour or 20 minutes. It has to go somewhere. I'm a little bit anal. I just doing it professionally for so many years.
You're particular, that's a better word.
Yeah.
I think the anal term is used way too
Yeah,
loosely.
yeah.
But you're particular, and it sounds as if you have a vision and you want it complete. You have expectations you'd like to meet.
Well, it's just so easy to make a project sound slop or what. Okay, but this is how anal I am. Okay, I was out bowling with No Means No. We had to. I was dating a girl in their scene, the Victoria scene. So they weren't really nice to me for like, this was going on for like a whole year. And then finally I get drunk with them, and then I tell them I don't like them. And they're like, oh, all of a sudden I'm their buddy, because they don't, you know, they're kind of freaked out about people that are all just, you know, like too into them. We got along great after I told them I did, but I was like, I love your Hanson Brothers stuff, straight up, but I don't like you know, like, throwing all that stuff in destroys the groove, in my opinion. That's what I like about the Guitar Army. Straight ahead, motorhead, rock and roll, bang your head, groove, everything. Make the audience jump up and down.
You know who wrote Can't Fix Stupid?
No.
Me. Riff. I said, guys, it's going to start like AC/DC. Bam, 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 bam. And then the next riff is Motorhead.
Rock and roll doesn't need to be complicated. It just
No.
needs to be executed properly.
It needs to be direct.
Yeah.
Jen wrote the title "Can't Fix Stupid." She wrote the first draft of lyrics.
Yeah.
We couldn't find them, so Cal asked me to rewrite the lyrics. That's a version we do.
Right.
So Jen and I share the writing credits for that
Right.
song. I enjoy that one, but I said this band: AC/DC, Motorhead, Ramones. There you go.
Yeah, yeah. That's and those are pretty much my three faves there. So
And my favorite group personally is Iron Maiden. And with a band like ours, I would, Nick, when he was in the group, we discussed orchestrating, designating like a symphony or an orchestra. These guitarists do this when you have 6 guitars. Two guys do this, 2 do that. I love to harmonize. I love Thin Lizzy, Iron
yeah,
Maiden.
Thin Lizzy, there you go. So we can get away with some of that stuff too. Yeah.
Judas Priest, Iron Maiden,
Yeah.
all the way to back,
Yeah.
Allman Brothers, Skinner.
Yeah.
I just love harmony. And with 6 guitars, we can play actual chords. Everyone play one
I'm not
string
playing,
each.
don't make a chord.
Everyone play
That's
one
what
particular string each, and we can do the stuff that Def Leppard struggled with. If we can get, but I would like to be that precise.
Yeah.
We can have the bang your head direct stuff with the power chords and all, but boy, personally, behind Cal's back and sneaking around, I do some inversions. I love harmonics.
Yeah.
Fit in everything where you can, but timing is everything.
Yeah.
Groove is paramount.
Yeah.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a big fan of harmony. And in the Real Mackenzies, I heard some of that. And Dave Gregg, I didn't talk much with him. I spoke to him once,
Yeah.
and I really liked him.
Yeah.
One nice
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Dave was amazing. He's no longer with us right now.
Really?
Yeah.
He's more into comics or something like that?
Dave, no, Dave lives in New York. And,
Yeah, that's
and he filled in when I had my kid.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take a couple of years off touring to just be there and be dad.
He was
and
quite a character.
Yeah, so he filled in
Live.
for me, and then he's gone his direction, and I just took up my old job back. For a while we did 3 guitars. That was pretty cool. Me, Dave, and Bowen.
I met this gentleman on set for,
Oh, True Justice. That's right.
and then when the movie came out, it was called Dangerous Crossing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know what. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I saw you the day of the big rooster fight, the cockfight, and poor Michael Bardock held the rooster, and every time the director said, "God, the rooster peed on him," he goes, "That chicken pissed on me," and that's our memory.
I forgot Tony was there as well. Yeah.
I don't know if Tony was, but Michael was for sure. We had a
Yeah.
great time.
Yeah.
I always have fun.
I didn't know you were an actor.
I enjoy the moment. Whether it's film, whether it's music, stick me on a stage or in front
Yeah.
of a camera. I'm gonna have fun.
Yep. Yeah, no doubt.
And he's a technician. I hear you're a grad from Emily Carr.
Yes, I went to art school for 6 years, but I couldn't wait to grad. My mom said, "Make sure you got something under your belt before you went off and play punk rock." And I tell you, the day I graduated, I'm like, I'm hitting the road. And you know what? As I can still go and teach right now, but I still just want to play punk rock.
That's what you want.
Well, but I got to tell you, at this point in time, the constant touring, like 8 months on the road, is
It's a
grows hard on you as you get older. And to make it work now is you actually play, pack up, drive all night.
Yeah.
And so there's no like getting drunk and picking up women like I remember when I was younger. It's just like the machine has changed, and I was pleased to find out that you guys don't want to tour like that. Everybody has jobs and stuff, and I've always I'm sort of thinking at this age it's nice to enjoy playing your music and doing it for fun, whereas it sort of became a job for me for like the last 3 years, and there's got to be some in between. you know, like I was just telling the Mackenzies, Christ, we gotta slow down. Why don't we just base ourselves out of Spain for the summer or something, you know, and just not make it so maniacal. But unfortunately, the cost of it, getting all those guys together and getting them over to Europe and stuff, just gotta go boom, boom, boom. Normally, like, we'll do a 63-day tour and have 2 days off. And boy, are you waiting for that day. My fingers hurt. Yeah. Yeah, there's no, you know, you get that stupid little cut right on some part, and it just will not heal in that amount of time. I always chew the side of my hand up with my bridge, and then you get that cut there, and every time you open and close your hand, it opens up. And I tried filling it full of crazy goo, and then just a big chunk came out. Oh boy, that's even worse. Every time you stick your hand in your pocket, ow! Every time you touch your guitar, ow!
The gospel according to dirty Kurt.
I'm looking forward to slowing down a bit. Yeah.
You know what? Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Hey Kurt, this is your newest project,
Yeah.
and I'll see you at rehearsal Friday.
Friday? Where
6
do we
o'clock.
rehearse at?
Hiram Road.
Oh, okay.
And the very room you pulled that guitar out of, that's
Right.
the room you're rehearsing in. The
Okay, I
wall-
don't know. Cal presented me with a guitar, so I didn't
Where did he
remember.
present it to you?
Yeah, we've been talking all afternoon, and then he just like,
Well, remember
here you go.
You were in a
Yeah.
room with G-Tone,
Yeah,
that's the room we rehearse in.
yeah, okay.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Awesome, Sonny. We're gonna kick
This
some
is
ass.
Freelancing with Sonny, special guest today.
Yeah, all right.
Dirty Kurt.
We'll see you on stage.
All